When you think of the glitz and glamour of Hollywood, it's easy to picture the designer gowns, the flashy cars, and the sprawling mansions. But have you ever stopped to think about just how much money the biggest stars in Tinseltown are actually worth? Well, when it comes to the ladies of the silver screen, some of them are sitting on fortunes that would make even the richest businessmen blush. From savvy investments to lucrative endorsement deals, these actresses have found plenty of ways to stack their cash. And today, we're counting down the top 10 richest of them all. 10. Drew Barrymore. Coming in at number 10 on our list of the richest actresses in the world is none other than Drew Barrymore. With a net worth of $125 million, this Hollywood powerhouse has certainly made a name for herself over the years. You might remember Drew from her breakout role as Gertie in the 1982 classic E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Even as a child actress, it was clear that she had a special talent. But let's be real, growing up in the spotlight is never easy. Drew faced her fair share of personal challenges, from substance abuse to a tumultuous family life. But here's the thing about Drew. She's a fighter. No matter how many times life knocked her down, she always got back up. And that resilience has served her well in Hollywood. She's gone on to star in a string of hit movies like Never Been Kissed, Charlie's Angels, and 50 First Dates. Plus, she's proven herself as a talented producer with her own production company, Flower Films. What's really impressive about Drew, though, is how she's managed to stay relevant in an industry that's always changing. In recent years, she's taken on edgier roles in projects like the Netflix series Santa Clarita Diet. And let's not forget about her successful beauty brand, Flower Beauty, which has been a hit with fans and critics alike. At the end of the day, Drew Barrymore is a true Hollywood survivor. She's overcome a lot of obstacles to get where she is today, and she's done it all with a smile on her face. With a net worth of $125 million, she's proof that hard work and determination can take you a long way in this business. But hey, Drew's just the first name on our list of the richest actresses in the world. Stick around, because we've got plenty more wealthy women to talk about. In fact, our next actress is someone who's been a fixture on the big screen for decades, with a string of iconic roles under her belt. Can you guess who it might be? Here's a hint. She's got a smile that's worth $1 million, literally. 9. Julia Roberts. Next up, we've got America's sweetheart herself, Julia Roberts. With a megawatt smile and a net worth to match, this Georgia peach has been captivating audiences for over 3 decades. And with a cool $140 million in the bank, she's tied with another acting legend on our list for the 9th spot. When you think of Julia Roberts, a few iconic roles probably come to mind. There's her breakout performance as the charming prostitute with a heart of gold in Pretty Woman. That movie not only launched her career into the stratosphere, but also cemented her status as a rom-com queen. And who could forget her Oscar-winning turn as the feisty legal clerk Erin Brockovich? Julia's portrayal of the real-life activist was so spot on, it's hard to imagine anyone else in the role. But here's what's really impressive about Julia. Despite her massive fame and fortune, she's managed to stay surprisingly down to earth. In interviews, she comes across as funny, self-deprecating, and totally relatable. Maybe it's her southern roots or her close-knit family, but Julia seems to have a grounded perspective on life that's rare in Hollywood. Of course, that doesn't mean she doesn't enjoy the perks of being a megastar. With a net worth of $140 million, Julia can afford to live in style. She's got a jaw-dropping real estate portfolio, including a ranch in New Mexico and a beachfront property in Malibu. And when she hits the red carpet, she's always dripping in designer duds and sparkling jewels. But at the end of the day, Julia's legacy is about more than just her bank account. She's one of the most recognizable and beloved actresses of her generation, with a body of work that spans genres and decades. From feel-good comedies to gritty dramas, she's proven time and again that she's got the chops to tackle any role that comes her way. So, how does a girl from small-town Georgia end up with a net worth that rivals some small countries? Well, a big chunk of Julia's fortune comes from her movie salaries. At the peak of her career in the 90s and early 2000s, she was commanding upwards of $20 million per film. Add in back-end profits and endorsement deals, and it's no wonder she's sitting pretty at number 9 on our list. But Julia's not the only actress who's been raking in the dough for decades. In fact, our next entry is a bona fide acting legend with a career that spans over half a century. This Oscar-winning powerhouse has tackled everything from gritty dramas to light-hearted comedies, and she's got a net worth to match her impressive resume. Can you guess who it might be? Here's a hint. She's been nominated for a record-breaking 21 Academy Awards, and she's got 3 golden statues to show for it. That's right, we're talking about 8. Meryl Streep. Speaking of acting legends, let's talk about Meryl Streep. With a net worth of $140 million, she's tied with Julia Roberts for the number 8 spot on our list. But when it comes to sheer talent and versatility, there's no one quite like Meryl. Over the course of her incredible career, Meryl has taken on just about every kind of role imaginable, from dramatic turns in movies like Sophie's Choice and The Iron Lady to comedic performances in films like The Devil Wears Prada and Mamma Mia. She's proven time and again that she can do it all. And with a record-breaking 21 Academy Award nominations under her belt, it's clear that the industry agrees. But Meryl's impact goes beyond just her on-screen performances. She's also been a vocal advocate for women's rights and equal pay in Hollywood. In 2015, she made headlines when she wrote a letter to Congress urging them to support the Equal Rights Amendment. And she's been known to use her platform to speak out against injustice and inequality in all its forms. Of course, all that talent and activism has translated into some serious cash for Meryl. With a net worth of $140 million, she's one of the richest actresses in the world. But it's not just about the money for her. Meryl has always been more interested in the craft of acting than in the trappings of fame and fortune. In interviews, she's spoken about the importance of taking risks and challenging herself as an actor. Whether she's playing a Holocaust survivor or a ruthless fashion magazine editor, Meryl always brings a level of depth and nuance to her performances that sets her apart from the pack. So, how does an actress like Meryl Streep end up with a net worth of $140 million? Well, a big chunk of that comes from her movie salaries. Over the years, she's commanded some of the highest paychecks in Hollywood, with some reports suggesting she can earn up to $20 million per film. But Meryl has also been smart about investing her money with a diverse portfolio that includes real estate and other ventures. At the end of the day, though, Meryl's legacy is about more than just her bank account. She's a true icon of the film industry, with a body of work that will be studied and admired for generations to come. And with her commitment to social justice and equality, she's also a role model for aspiring actors and activists alike. But Meryl's not the only actress on our list who's known for her talent and resilience. In fact, our next entry is someone who's faced plenty of challenges in her personal life, but has always managed to come out on top. She's a TV icon, a movie star, and a bona fide. 7. Jennifer Aniston. When it comes to TV icons who've made it big in Hollywood, Jennifer Aniston is a name that always comes up. With a net worth of $150 million, she's sitting pretty at number 7 on our list of the richest actresses in the world. And when you look at her career, it's not hard to see why. Of course, we have to talk about the role that made her a household name, Rachel Green on the hit sitcom Friends. For 10 seasons, Jennifer charmed audiences with her portrayal of the fashionable and funny New Yorker, earning herself a cool $1 million per episode by the end of the show's run. Not too shabby, right? But Jennifer's success didn't stop there. She's gone on to have a pretty impressive film career, with starring roles in movies like Marley and Me, The Breakup, and We're the Millers. And let's not forget about her turn as a stripper in the cult classic Office Space. Talk about range. What's really impressive about Jennifer, though, is how she's managed to stay on top in an industry that can be pretty tough on women. She's faced her fair share of tabloid scrutiny over the years, especially when it comes to her personal life. But no matter what's thrown her way, Jennifer always seems to come out stronger on the other side. Take her divorce from Brad Pitt, for example. When the couple split in 2005, it was all anyone could talk about. But Jennifer handled the whole thing with grace and poise, never stooping to the level of the gossip rags. And when she found love again with Justin Theroux, she proved that she was ready to move on and be happy. It's that kind of resilience that's made Jennifer such a beloved figure in Hollywood. She's not just a pretty face or a talented actress, she's a survivor. And with a net worth of $150 million, she's got the bank account to prove it. So how does someone like Jennifer Aniston end up with that kind of cash? Well, a lot of it comes from her TV and movie salaries, of course, but she's also been smart about investing her money over the years. She's got a stake in a few production companies, including her own Echo Films, and she's been known to flip a few luxury properties in her day, including a swanky Beverly Hills mansion that she sold for a cool $35 million. But for all her wealth and success, Jennifer seems to have stayed pretty down to earth. She's a big believer in giving back, supporting charities like St. Jude Children's Research Hospital and the Red Cross. And when she's not working, she's usually hanging out with her close-knit group of friends, many of whom she's known since her Friends days. Speaking of famous friends, our next actress on the list is someone who's got a lot of them. She's a global icon, known for her acting chops, her humanitarian work, and her high-profile relationships. 6. Angelina Jolie. And now, we've got a true icon on our hands. With a net worth of $160 million, Angelina Jolie takes the number 6 spot on our list. But Angelina's more than just a movie star. She's a bona fide humanitarian, using her fame and fortune to make a real difference in the world. When it comes to her acting career, Angelina's resume is seriously impressive. She's taken on all kinds of roles over the years, from action flicks like Lara Croft Tomb Raider to dramatic turns in films like Girl Interrupted and A Mighty Heart. And let's not forget about her work behind the camera. Angelina's directed a handful of critically acclaimed movies like Unbroken and First They Killed My Father. But what really sets Angelina apart is her commitment to giving back. She's been working with the United Nations since 2001, serving as a Goodwill Ambassador and Special Envoy for the UN Refugee Agency. Over the years, she's traveled to war-torn countries all over the world, meeting with refugees and advocating for their rights. And in 2003, she founded the Maddox Jolie Pitt Foundation, which works to improve the lives of people in Cambodia, Ethiopia, and beyond. Of course, all that humanitarian work hasn't stopped Angelina from living the high life. With a net worth of $160 million, she can afford to splurge on some seriously luxurious digs. She's got a sprawling estate in Los Angeles, complete with a pool, a tennis court, and a private movie theater. And when she's not chilling at home, she's jetting off to exotic locales all over the world. But for all her wealth and success, Angelina's had her fair share of ups and downs over the years. Her highly publicized divorce from Brad Pitt made headlines around the world, and she's been open about her struggles with depression and anxiety. But through it all, she's managed to stay focused on what really matters: her kids, her career, and her humanitarian work. So what's next for this Hollywood heavyweight? Well, she's got a few exciting projects in the works, including a role in the upcoming Marvel movie Eternals. And knowing Angelina, she'll probably keep using her platform to make a difference in the world, whether that means building schools in war-torn countries or advocating for women's rights. But Angelina's not the only actress on our list who's making a difference in the world. Our next entry is someone who's been using her fame and fortune for good for decades. She's an Oscar-winning legend, a fitness guru, and a passionate activist. Can you guess who it might be? Here's a hint. She's been arrested multiple times for protesting everything from the Vietnam War to climate change. 5. Jane Fonda. And speaking of being arrested for protesting, that brings us to our next actress on the list, Jane Fonda. With a net worth of $200 million, this 85-year-old powerhouse has been making waves in Hollywood and beyond for decades. Jane first rose to fame in the 1960s with movies like Barbarella and They Shoot Horses, Don't They? But it was her role as a fitness guru in the 1980s that really cemented her status as a cultural icon. Her workout videos were a sensation, selling millions of copies and inspiring countless people to get up and move. But Jane's legacy goes way beyond leg warmers and leotards. She's been a passionate activist for years, using her platform to speak out on everything from the Vietnam War to climate change. In fact, she's been arrested multiple times for protesting, most recently in 2019 while demonstrating outside the US Capitol. So, how does someone like Jane Fonda end up with a net worth of $200 million? Well, a lot of it comes from her acting career, of course. She's won 2 Academy Awards and 7 Golden Globes over the years, and she's still going strong with recent roles in shows like Grace and Frankie. But Jane's also been smart about investing her money. She's got a stake in a few different ventures, including a successful fitness company and a production studio. And let's not forget about all that real estate. Jane's got properties all over the place, from a ranch in New Mexico to a swanky apartment in Beverly Hills. Of course, when you're worth $200 million, you can afford to live in style. Jane's got a serious car collection, including a vintage Ferrari and a Tesla. And when she's not cruising around town, she's probably relaxing at one of her many homes or jetting off to some exotic locale. But for all her wealth and success, Jane seems to have stayed pretty grounded. She's a big believer in giving back, supporting charities like the Georgia Campaign for Adolescent Power and Potential and the Women's Media Center. And she's always been open about her struggles with body image and aging, using her platform to promote self-love and acceptance. So, what's next for this Hollywood legend? Well, she's showing no signs of slowing down anytime soon. She's got a few new projects in the works, including a book about her life as an activist, and knowing Jane, she'll probably keep using her voice to fight for the causes she believes in, whether that means marching on Washington or making more workout videos. But Jane's not the only actress on our list who's known for her quick wit and sharp tongue. Our next entry is a comedy icon who's been making us laugh for decades, first on a little show called Seinfeld, and then on a political satire that earned her a record-breaking number of Emmy Awards. That's right, folks, we're talking about 4. Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Julia Louis-Dreyfus, that's who. With a staggering net worth of $250 million, she's sitting pretty at number 4 on our list of the richest actresses in the world. And when you look at her career, it's easy to see why. Julia first made a name for herself on Saturday Night Live in the early 1980s, but it was her role as Elaine Beans on Seinfeld that really put her on the map. For 9 seasons, she had audiences in stitches with her portrayal of the neurotic and hilarious Elaine, earning herself an Emmy and a Golden Globe in the process. But Julia's success didn't stop there. In 2012, she took on the role of Vice President Selena Meyer in the HBO comedy Veep. The show was a massive hit, and Julia's performance was nothing short of incredible. She won a record-breaking 6 consecutive Emmys for Outstanding Lead Actress in a Comedy Series, cementing her status as one of the funniest women in Hollywood. Of course, all that success has translated into some serious cash. With a net worth of $250 million, Julia can afford to live large. She's got a few properties scattered around the country, including a fancy apartment in New York City and a sprawling estate in Los Angeles. And when she's not working, she's probably jetting off to some far-flung locale with her husband, actor Brad Hall. But Julia's not just about the glitz and glamour. She's also a passionate activist, using her platform to speak out on issues like environmental protection and women's rights. In fact, she's been known to show up at protests and rallies, even getting arrested at one point for demonstrating against the Keystone XL pipeline. So, how does someone like Julia Louis-Dreyfus manage all that wealth? Well, she's got a diverse portfolio that includes everything from real estate to stocks and bonds, and she's not afraid to put her money where her mouth is when it comes to the causes she believes in. She's donated millions of dollars to organizations like the Natural Resources Defense Council and the International Rescue Committee. But even with all her success and wealth, Julia seems to have stayed pretty down to earth. She's known for being a total goofball on set, cracking jokes and playing pranks on her co-stars, and when she's not working, she's usually hanging out with her family or hitting the ski slopes in Utah. Speaking of down-to-earth actresses, our next entry on the list is someone who's known for her girl-next-door charm and her serious acting chops. She's been in the game for decades, but she really hit her stride in the 2010s with a string of blockbuster hits that earned her a place among the highest-paid actresses in Hollywood. Can you guess who we're talking about? Here's a hint. She once won an Oscar for playing a tough-as-nails Southern mom who takes on the NFL. 3. Sandra Bullock. That's right, we're talking about Sandra Bullock. This seasoned actress has been wowing audiences for decades, and with a net worth of $290 million, she's definitely sitting pretty at number 3 on our list. Sandra really burst onto the scene in the 1990s with blockbuster hits like Speed and While You Were Sleeping, but it was her role in the 2009 drama The Blind Side that earned her some serious accolades, including an Academy Award for Best Actress. And let's not forget about Gravity, the 2013 space thriller that had everyone on the edge of their seats and raked in a whopping $723 million at the box office. All that success has made Sandra one of the highest paid actresses in Hollywood. In fact, she was the only woman to make Forbes' list of the highest paid actors in 2014, thanks in large part to her massive payday for Gravity. But it's not just about the money for Sandra. She's also earned a reputation as one of the most likable and down-to-earth stars in the biz. So, what does a gal like Sandra Bullock do with all that cash? Well, for starters, she's got a seriously impressive real estate portfolio. She owns a few properties in Los Angeles, including a stunning Beverly Hills mansion that she picked up for a cool $16.19 million back in 2011. And when she's not chilling at home, she's probably traveling the world in style. She's been spotted everywhere from Paris to Sydney over the years. But Sandra's not just about the glitz and glamour. She's also a savvy businesswoman with a diverse portfolio of investments. She's got a stake in a few different production companies, including her own Fortis Films, and she's even dipped her toe into the restaurant biz. She used to co-own a couple of trendy eateries in Austin, Texas. Of course, when you're worth $290 million, you can afford to splurge on a few luxury items here and there. Sandra's been known to drop some serious cash on fancy cars, including a sleek black Mercedes-Benz S-Class. And she's got a weakness for designer clothes and accessories. She's often spotted rocking everything from Chanel to Prada on the red carpet. All in all, it's clear that Sandra Bullock is living the high life these days. But what's even more impressive is how she's managed to stay so darn likable and relatable through it all. Maybe it's her goofy sense of humor or her no-nonsense attitude, but there's just something about Sandra that makes you feel like she could be your best friend. But enough about Sandra. Let's talk about our next actress on the list. Here's a hint. She's not just a movie star, but also a major player in the world of business and investing. With a jaw-dropping net worth of $3 billion, this Hollywood heavyweight is in a league of her own. Can you guess who we're talking about? Believe it or not, it's someone who started out in sitcoms before making it big on the silver screen. But these days, she's known just as much for her financial savvy as she is for her acting chops. 2. Jami Gertz. That's right, folks. The runner-up on our list of the richest actresses in the world is none other than Jami Gertz. Now you might be thinking, Jami who? But trust us, this lady is a serious player in the world of wealth and investing. With a mind-boggling net worth of $3 billion, Jami has come a long way from her days as a young actress in the 1980s. She got her start in Hollywood with roles in movies like 16 Candles and The Lost Boys, but these days, she's known more for her business savvy than her acting chops. So, how did Jami go from sitcom star to billionaire investor? Well, a lot of it has to do with her husband, Tony Ressler. Together, the power couple has built a massive fortune through their private equity firm, Ares Management. They've got their fingers in all sorts of pies, from real estate to sports teams to high-end fashion brands. But don't think for a second that Jami is just riding on her husband's coattails. This woman is a force to be reckoned with in her own right. She's got a keen eye for spotting promising investments, and she's not afraid to take risks when it comes to growing her wealth. One of Jami's biggest wins has been her stake in the Atlanta Hawks basketball team. She and her husband bought the team back in 2015 for a cool $730 million. And since then, its value has skyrocketed. In fact, Forbes recently estimated the Hawks' worth at a whopping $1.5 billion. Not too shabby, right? But Jami's not just about making money. She's also a big believer in giving back. She and her husband are major philanthropists, donating millions of dollars to causes like education and the arts. They've even got their own charitable foundation, the Ressler Gertz Foundation, which supports everything from medical research to social justice initiatives. So, what does a billionaire like Jami Gertz do when she's not busy investing and philanthropizing? Well, for starters, she's got a seriously swanky real estate portfolio. She and her husband own a $30 million mansion in Beverly Hills, complete with a movie theater and a bowling alley. And when they're not chilling at home, they're probably jetting off to one of their other properties around the world, like their ski chalet in Aspen or their beachfront villa in the Caribbean. But despite her incredible wealth and success, Jami seems to have stayed pretty grounded. She's known for being a devoted mum to her 3 sons, and she's often spotted cheering them on at their basketball games and other events. And while she certainly enjoys the finer things in life, she's not one to flaunt her wealth or status. All in all, it's clear that Jamie Gertz is a true powerhouse in the world of business and investing. With a net worth of $3 billion and a track record of smart investments and generous philanthropy, she's definitely earned her spot at number 2 on our list. But as impressive as Jamie's fortune may be, it's nothing compared to the wealth of our final actress on the list. This woman was born into privilege and grew up rubbing elbows with some of the most famous and influential people in the world. 1. Dena Merill. Drum roll, please. Introducing the one and only Dena Merill, the wealthiest actress to ever grace the silver screen. With a jaw-dropping net worth of $5 billion, this Hollywood legend puts all the other rich and famous to shame. Now, you might be wondering how Dena managed to amass such an enormous fortune. Well, it wasn't just her acting chops that got her there, although she did have a pretty impressive career, starring in movies like Desk Set and Operation Petticoat, alongside big names like Katharine Hepburn and Cary Grant. No, what really set Dena apart was her business savvy and her ability to leverage her connections and resources to build a truly staggering empire. You see, Dena was born into some serious money. Her father was a Wall Street tycoon, and her mother was the heiress to the post-serial fortune. So, even before she set foot on a movie set, Dena was rubbing elbows with the rich and powerful, and boy, did she know how to work those connections. Over the years, she served on the boards of companies like Lehman Brothers and RKO Pictures, making some seriously smart investments along the way. But Dena wasn't just about the boardroom. She also knew how to live large and enjoy the finer things in life. She had a string of high-profile marriages, including one to actor Cliff Robertson, and she was known for her love of luxury. We're talking multiple houses around the world, a mega yacht, and even her own private island in the Bahamas. I mean, when you've got $5 billion to your name, why not go all out, right? Of course, even with all that cash, Dena still had to be smart about how she managed her money, and let me tell you, she was a pro at it. She had a team of top-notch financial advisors, and she was always on the lookout for the next big thing to invest in. Whether it was real estate, stocks, or even art and antiques, Dena knew how to make her money work for her. But perhaps what's most impressive about Dena is that she managed to maintain her wealth and status right up until the end. Even in her later years, when she was battling dementia, she still had a net worth that most people can only dream of. And when she passed away in 2017 at the age of 93, she left behind a legacy that will go down in Hollywood history. So there you have it, folks, the story of Dena Merill, the richest actress of all time, with a career that spanned decades and a fortune that most of us can barely wrap our heads around. She truly was in a league of her own. And while we may never know all the secrets behind her success, one thing's for sure, Dena Merill will always be remembered as the ultimate Hollywood power player. Hollywood power player. Hollywood power player. Hollywood power